a seat, take a breath. Got a feed that decides life and death. Every chart is a mountain, a meme, a decree. Is this genius or mass lunacy? So with me, down this wild mentality, where a frog with sunglasses screams we're early endlessly. Oh, see, bulls and bears and fantasy, every post's a prophecy. It's nothing made to be. If you want to read what passes for a master plan, simply click and flick your thumb across this broken land. Want to know which way the winds of crypto might just be? Go scroll me. One says up, only friends. Next says this is how it ends. Someone's calling the top, someone's buying the dip, someone's typing a thread as their last relationship slips. Scroll with me through the fear and ecstasy, where a chart in crayon gets 1,000 hearts for free. You'll see every hot take, every plea. I was right in 23. Trust the line, ignore the spreadsheet. If you want to gauge if hope or panic's in command, if they're building castles or just castles in the sand, want to test if we're all early or just fantasy? Slow with me. Is it signal? Is it noise? Are we traders? Are we toys? Every candle, every coin is a cult you can join. Go with me, let the chaos be our key. Read the mood like it's a map to some great mystery. You'll see faith and doubt and harmony. I'm all into, I'm set free.
In one day in one same tweet.
If you want to know if folks are brave or out of time, if they're quietly convicted or have simply lost their minds, then my friend, you found the perfect place to start this stream. So scroll with me.
Just kidding. I don't want to come up in here on Monday morning with that kind of bullshit, be back on my bullshit. But GM and G Scroll to all who celebrate. First off, G Scroll to Diego, G Scroll to Reed, and G Scroll to Monty. Look at the chat. Be like these three. And the other people who are watching as well, who aren't in the chat yet, who should be in the chat. Or as Drake would say, in the chat. But yeah, welcome. It is Monday, July 13th. My name is Dude Lifts. This is Scroll With Me. This is where we scroll crypto Twitter together. It's where we try to understand the vibes. We're like, what the heliante is going on here? You know, you're hearing all kinds of shit. You're hearing that you need to be buying NFTs on Robinhood chain. You're like, is that true? Am I late? Yes. What do I do? What do I do from here? So that's what we're going to figure out together. Let's jump into the timeline. Let's see what's going on in this Monday morning. And let's see how our week's going to be. You know, we've got Thread Guy here off the top. Diego says Pokemon cards on Jupiter. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. And then Iran USA escalation. Inside every man, there are two wolves, you know? So Thread Guy, just pull up Dex Screener before Trading View to check the charts on morning. Times are changing. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not. But let's move on to Collector Crypt here. Collector Crypt is proud to partner with Jupiter Exchange. Together, we're bringing real graded Pokemon and One Piece cards fully on chain through Jupiter Gacha. More collectors, more collectors, more liquidity, more ways to find your next grail. Man, if I had $1 for every time a marketing team, including your boy, threw down the 3 mores and was like, damn, that triple rule of 3 plus the more is going to hit so hard. Sorry, it's a little bit of inside baseball. But alas, I actually saw some people kind of like complaining about this. And they were like, oh, so basically this is just Collector Crypt with extra fees. And I'm like, yeah, That's the whole point. I've been saying this. I don't hold any cards. I have no skin in the bag. I have no bag in the game, if you will. Yeah, so like I've been saying this. I've been calling this. You faded me, bro. No, I've been saying this is like the ideal outcome is that Collector Crypt is a protocol. Honestly, people probably should stop using the Collector Crypt app. That is actually the ideal outcome. Is like nobody knows what Collector Crypt is. Collector Crypt becomes a a Pokemon or a TCG tokenization infrastructure play, right? And then all of these front ends can build on top of it. Permissionlessly would be the key. Is they could just like tap in, right, and just be like, boom, like, oh, I think I have a distribution network. I'm an influencer. I have an audience. They enjoy TCG. I'm going to create a custom experience just for them using vibe coding and the Collector Crypt API. Essentially, that is the ideal outcome. That is cryptocurrency. That is permissionlessness. That is protocols. That is tokenization. It's on chain. It's provable. That is all. So this is a good thing. We should see more of this. Just saying. Now, I have other thoughts. I've been thinking about this actually for years because I've known the BZ team for years, worked with them very closely for some time. I would love if there was a standard tokenization. I know they're all on the same token protocol for the most part, probably like whatever the Solana NFT is, SPL or whatever. I think most of them probably use Metaplex Core, to be fair. But even a standardization of the metadata, because how awesome would it be if I could buy cards from one tokenization place and trade it on another platform as a first class asset across all platforms? Fuck. How cool would it be if I could buy cards on BZ, Fidgetals, and Collector Crypt and then create a game that I could like play with Pokemon cards? So I could play the game on top of that because they all share metadata with like, in addition to the collectible grading stuff, like, the energy, the moves, the whatever, like that would be amazing. Now, granted, are you going to get all these collectible platforms to agree on a standard? Probably not. Will like kind of power law win out and someone will just be the kind of victor in that arms race, and then people can just build apps on top of that? Like, who's building a game on top of whatever Collector Crypt standard is using? Okay, I digress. We continue. But we saw 35 tweets in the chamber, and that we always want those freshy tweets. So we're gonna give a refresh. I'm like Nikita Beer's, not worst nightmare, ICP maybe. I don't know. They're like what would work if we put a thing that says show 35 tweets. We have focus group that exact number, and some schmuck out there will refresh his timeline because he feels like he's missing out. I am schmuck. All right, we got a little nibbles here. Things you love to see. Great artwork. Loki says Azuki Grails are starting to heat up again. I'm assuming these are the sale prices. Get a 30 ETH, 16 ETH, 4.7 ETH. Nice. Oh. Oh. Icy Gaming says, I think we've officially jumped the shark. Oh, alas, my friend, I would beg to differ. And I just wrote my whole treatise, my thesis above on this. Yeah, I don't think it's shark jumping at all. Now, granted, does like the market cool down and yada yada, maybe. But I would say that this is the beginning for like infrastructure. Granted, is like the gotcha meta or whatever. But the beauty of it is that once these cards are on chain, you can do infinite things with them. It doesn't just have to be gotcha. Like it doesn't just have to be gambling on these cards. Like you could do use your imagination, like all kinds of things. Have a fucking virtual card show for all I care about. Have little like booths and vendors and shit in the fucking metaverse. I don't know. But the thing is like, yeah, this does not represent jumping the shark. This is, like I said, this is the ideal outcome for this kind of stuff. So granted, does the market cool off? I don't know. Like I'm no Pokemon TCG market expert, but I would certainly not say that a massive protocol using a permissionless one massive protocol using a permissionless implementation, not truly permissionless, but ideally of another protocol, that's jumping the shark. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Froth me mentioned. All right. Shout out to Spenders Club for sending me this killer box of goods. Oh, dude, I've been rocking. Oh yeah, you got the USDC drop the money T-shirt. God, that's one of my favorites. I wear it all the time. That's awesome. Very cool. Oh, we got Reed with the best GMs in the game. You know the vibes. All right, let's see. Lambo Land, we listen when Lambo Land speaks. Said it is financially 1,000% smarter to invest in yourself than the S&P 500. Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm curious about that. Like, because there's that guy, like the investor guy, the thread guy interviewed, who's like Chris Camillo, I think his name is like the only way to make it is by investing. Yeah, I'd be curious, like, you know, because I guess at its core, investing is essentially gambling, putting out money that you believe that someone else is going to succeed. But what does that say about yourself? You know, maybe there's a humility in knowing that like this motherfucker is smarter than I am. Like maybe there's some humility in that. But also, yeah, like what would happen if you spent that time and effort kind of honing your own skills or upskilling yourself? Akila says, yeah, that makes no sense. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as impactful as one human being can be, there is certainly limitations there. And maybe there's some like really interesting kind of math of like, if you have this money, like, you can only improve yourself to this degree with this amount of money and time. And so you're actually uh, like, is investing leverage of your own money and time, if that makes sense. So I get what he's saying here, but I think that's probably like mathematically incorrect. Does it mean that you shouldn't improve yourself? Like, no, you should definitely like upskill yourself for sure. Um, but then again, is improving your ability to invest, is that upskilling yourself? Fuck. And time is a flat circle. All right, there we go. And Iculus in the chat. Iculus always comes in the chat, just kind of in things we love to see. All right, here we go. I imported my Claynosaurus collectibles account to Soulflare, and my cards look so good. Ooh, interesting. Maybe I ought to do that. All right, what do we say? This is Kill Bill here. Iculus with the salute. We salute our G scrollers. Sure, Kill Bill is a violent movie, but it's a Tarantino movie. You don't go see Metallica and ask the motherfuckers to turn the music down. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right, we got January 2026. There's no better time to build your own product with AI. The barrier has now never been lower. July 2026. Bridge of Robin Hood to chase the next 1,000x runner. What? Yes. And this is how we build. This is how we build. And then we'll come back. The thing that I'm interested to see, and I think I was talking about this last week, is I think I was talking about this in relation to meme coin bag working last week, about how like just AI content has increased the ability of the bag worker to bag work. I'm curious with as more chain implementations happen, even like Tempo, Arc. I know those are kind of permissioned, but Robinhood is a good example. Robinhood is EVM, it's Arbitrum, it's whatever. There's a lot of like existing tooling out there, like how quickly people can spin up protocols and interesting stuff and just like ship faster. I think BankerBot, Kona DeFi, or Kitty Punch, like those are good examples in the way that I think like OpenSea even, they're all just like, yep, we integrated Robinhood, but I'm even more interested if people start shipping interesting products, like people start pushing the boundaries because they can just essentially vibe code it, right? They're just like, fucking, I'm going to ship the weirdest, NFT finance DeFi protocol Ponzi game that's ever been seen because I can build it myself. Yeah, I'm very interested to see that. Let's keep going. Wow. The fish are reviewing humanity. Whoa. What the heck? Elon Musk SpaceX hits post IPO low, falling under $140. Ah! Ah! GM to bats too. I really like this artist. They're great. All right, let's give a little refresh. We got the timeline. It's getting a little crusty. You know what I'm saying? Beavers are still here. Beavers Lodge is the building. Oh, these are nibbles. Okay, that's fine. Okay. Ooh, let's see what Van Goya has to say. We love a Van Goya tweet here. Murakami Flowers at 0.03 ETH. Someone has been quietly sweeping for 6 days straight. It swept 25, 2 hours after my post from yesterday. 62 flowers bought in total. That's interesting. Pure art from one of the world's most established artists, no utility. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Van Goya a while ago. What the fuck? Ran Takashi Murakami through a market cap model like he's a coin. Fan, I almost said fantastic, and then I almost said interesting. So I said fantisting. So that's cool. That's cool. Oh yeah, 0.2. Did he mean 0.3? I think he meant 0.3, not 0.03. Yeah, because 0.03, I'm like, oh, that's cool. But 0.3, 0.3 now. Now we're cooking. Yeah, I remember a while ago someone saying kind of like, yeah, Murakami's artwork sells for bajillion dollars physically. Why aren't his NFTs worth more? Always interesting question. Yeah, I mean, it's like I got to imagine that over the I got to imagine over the long term. And I think I wrote an article about this. LOL, shilling my own article. That over the long term, right, as artists continue to become more popular, they cement themselves in kind of popular culture over the long term. You know, Murakami being one of them. Like I think about a Picasso, a Van Gogh, whatever. It's like I got to imagine that people would buy anything that Picasso touched, a sketch, a fucking weird piece of pottery that he did because he made a bunch of those, like just all kinds of shit. And I got to imagine that as digital collecting becomes more accepted and just kind of part of mainstream life, and it already is, whether you believe it or not, it just already is. Sorry. You go to Fanatics Fest, you go to, all this stuff. They have digital collecting panels. They're talking about it. It is becoming a part of everyday life. That people wouldn't just be like, oh, Murakami put a bunch of art on the internet that I can buy. I'll buy that. That has some value. Ikula says, saw amazing Murakami at the Art Institute of Kai. Last week was massive on the wall. Yeah, but that was pretty cool. I think you posted about seeing a Mondrian also, which is really funny, of course. All right, here we go. Andrew Forte says, every cycle we see the same thing. Part of CT complains about everything and misses out. Winners continue to win, adapting to new games. Most undervalue small GCs and overvalue large ones. All true. All true. Damn. Andrew's reminded me, I made one video. It was about 10,000 tokens, and it was like 10,000 tokens if we both have CTE describing. I should have done Robinhood Chain, but Robinhood Chain wasn't that confusing, but maybe it's worth doing, that type of content. I don't know. You'll see more content from me. I'm back on my content shit. Back on my shit. Back on my bullshit. Let's see here. Oh, what do we got for Ippy? GM. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. Full day ahead between work and dad mode. Looking forward to going live. Dude, shout out to Ippy. First honorary of Grifthood. Oh my God, this is nightmare fuel. Grifthood is a 666 unique collection inspired by Grifter's X copy. So basically, like AI slop work on Robinhood Chain. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, look at this augmented. Oh, this is kind of sick. They put the VV digital collectible of the thing at Disneyland. I mean, it's actually kind of based. It's actually pretty cool. Monet sunset in SF right now. Dude, this is a regular sunset in Arizona. This is a Tuesday sunset in Arizona. Oh my God. Look at the Super Yeti. My God. Wait, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Researchers built a soft floating robot for indoor interaction. It uses helium and flapping fins instead of propellers. The result is quiet, lightweight, and safe to touch. It can follow people, give reminders, and act as a study buddy. I mean, this is kind of sick. This is like an indoor space whale. Like, and it's not as annoying as a drone. I imagine you got to fill the helium up every once in a while. I would guess, unless it's made out of like mylar or something that's like completely non-permeable. I don't know how that works, to be honest. Is helium like stable indefinitely? But dude, this is like an indoor space whale. We live in a society, straight up. That's fucking crazy. I want one. Dude, honestly, after the Neo thing with the fucking came out the other day, okay. I'm gonna spill the beans. I didn't order the robot, just for what it's worth. But I was thinking about this. Mrs. Doodliffs and I were kind of talking about like, because I think they have it at like $500 a month, and we're like, but I was trying to figure out, could I create $500 a month out of value out of this robot? And I started thinking about it. I was thinking about, videography and vlogging and traveling and shooting content and stuff like that. And I was like, you have a tripod, and a really good tripod's very expensive. I don't have any very expensive tripods. I have like fucking Amazon tripods, but they're expensive. They're obviously static, whatever. I'm like, what if you used a fucking Neo robot, like a vlogging cinematographer, and it just followed you around and like shot content. You trained it on how to do certain shots and like things like that, what to look for, how to, focus, zoom, all this kind of stuff, the composition, the framing. I was like, that would be kind of insane. Because you think about like Marquez Brownlee, like MKBHD, some of these people have trained like robotic arms to shoot videos for them. They're obviously in office, they're massive, they're expensive. But if you could do that mobily, because I'm like, that's a large blocker. I just use the word blocker in seriousness. I'm gonna fucking cut off my toe. A large thing that gets in my way with shooting vlogs is like you have to do the fucking, you know what I mean? It's like and then I've had it before where like people like True from Web3, come with me to events and stuff like that. It's really awesome. But that's a big logistical hurdle to make sure that happens. So basically robots. We'll see. Monty says signal or noise to start the week. It's always all noise, no signal, just to be clear about expectations, because we're looking at space whales right now. I don't know. It's going to be trippy though with this week coming up. I think. So we've essentially got Ansem. We've got Cash Cat, right, on Robinhood, plus all the micro caps on Robinhood. I saw a tweet from ICO Beast this morning that says like, oh, the NFT guys are trading Robinhood. We're cooked. And I'm like, that is kind of true. I'm curious if we speed run Robinhood into the fucking ground really fast or if it has some staying power. Yeah, I'm really curious what that looks like. But what I will say is I did see another tweet from Duca from Awaken Tax, and he said like, I'm seeing realized P&Ls in the millions. So from Robinhood. So I'm like, there is a real wealth effect being created from the Robinhood pump. So it'll be interesting to see if that stays on chain. And if so, where that goes. So yeah, wherever there's a real wealth effect, there will be something interesting happening. It'll be just curious how long that lasts, right? Or if the people who, generated some value take that off chain and like go buy watches in Miami. And I don't know, who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Let's see here. Let's give one little refresh. We got a couple minutes on the. Oh, dude, wait! Look at the Neo. Oh, look at it! There he is. Dude, we need one of those. We need one of those to shoot content. Imagine if it would just scroll with me, but it just the camera's like moving a little bit. Like, what's happening? It's the robot. The robot is dynamically shooting. Dude, this is an incredible. I loved when I saw this. This is so good. This is so good. Little bear box. All right. While in Toronto, squeezing around a golf. All right. Let's see here. Aesthetic has a lot to do with how well an NFT collection performs. No matter how strong the utility is, if the art doesn't hit, people won't care. That's like partially true. NFT, or sorry, like promised utility or promised number go up technology or whatever can overcome bad art. But typically, if it's not good art, it won't have any staying power beyond that. I think we're saying the same thing. Dying is not enough. What is dead may never die. Love it. Gosh, I think I want to go to Marfa this year. I really think I want to go. Nicholas Brillante. What a name. Oh, hey, how's it going? My name's Matt. What's your name? Oh, just Nicholas Brillante. Wow. Who also works 100 hours a week at startups at a startup. You got me beat. I actually don't even know that math. What's a typical work week? 40 hours a week. So what is that? Like 997? Like what's the vibe here? What's the try hard vibe here? All right, here we go. So I built a video game where you do absolutely nothing, just rain and passing trains, wandering around, no prints, no objectives. Dude, this is a Dutch Tide piece of artwork, is what this is. This is just Dutch Tide. All right, gang. It is 9 a.m. You know the vibes. I've got a jet, but it's going to be a fantastic week. I'm excited about it. And until next time, I'll see you all on the timeline.